to another episode of Pixelated Zen Plays. I'm your host Krovlar, and we're checking out the Neverwinter beta. I'm in the PC Gamer beta access category, so I won't be able to play all that often, but on the beta weekends I'm going to give it a shot. I have a level 4 Guardian Fighter here, but I'm going to go ahead and use my other character slot to show you how some of the other classes play. It's the same starter area and quest line for everybody, but you'll get to see how the different classes operate, at least to a certain degree, since we won't be playing, you know, all the way through. I think the level cap in this one is 40, and they said they might up it to 50, depending on the level of participation. So let's create a new character here. Okay, you've got female and male. Go ahead and look through these real quick. So you got half-orc, human, elf, half-elf. This is coming soon. Tiefling, halfling, and dwarf. And then for the males, again, half-elf, or half-orc, human, elf, half-elf, tiefling, halfling, and dwarf. So we're going to go ahead and choose a halfling now. See, down here you can see the different racials they get, and it's not too big. It's +2 dexterity, +2 charisma, or +2 constitution. Nimble reaction, your small stature and quick movements grant 3% chance to deflect incoming attacks, things like that. Alright, Trickster Rogue, Devoted Cleric, Control Wizard. Whoa, that is interesting. Guardian Fighter. And then coming soon, I believe that is the Great Weapon Fighter, the heavy weapons type warrior. So for right now, I've also heard that what they're going to do is they're going to have a lot of different classes in the game. That's going to be one of those things that you can purchase. But for now, they've only got these 5, and one of them isn't even in this beta weekend. However, the Control Wizard is for the first time, I believe. So we're going to check that out a little bit later. For now, since we got a halfling, we're going to go with a Trickster Rogue. So the way this works is I've got +2 here and +2 here. The highest you can get on a roll for a stat ability is 18, I believe. And then so you can get up to 20 with the +2 bonus if you have the right race class combination. But let's say I got, you know, like this, up to 20. I can only get 13 on these. So I can't keep rolling. I can't keep re-rolling dice until I get, you know, 18 for everything. They do cap it at a certain amount, so you could have 18 for your main one and then 13 for your 2 lessers. But you can see based on the options I pick here, I picked this one, which is +2 dexterity, +2 charisma. So I actually get 20 dexterity instead of 18 and 15 charisma instead of 13. And those are, you know, dexterity right here, it's purple, it's my main attribute, and then the 2 blue ones are my secondary attributes. And then the other ones are not as important for your class. Character creation is actually pretty in-depth. I don't know why some of these have white backgrounds and some of them don't. What you're seeing here is just, you know, general appearance presets. And there are actually quite a few of them. Let's go into customize. And see here you can do basic head shape, hair type, which we're going to change that up a little bit. They don't have a top knot. I feel that all halflings should have a top knot. We're going to go with a mohawk instead. That might work. Eyes. The eyes aren't very good yet. Even when you're zoomed in, you can't really tell what color you've picked. Like, that's green, that's brown, that's blue, and that's white. It doesn't make a difference at all, really. If you go into like glowing, they're kind of muddy. I don't know. I don't really like it going with natural, but the eyes are kind of a letdown. Nothing too big though. Eyebrows. Facial hair, which I actually like his current facial hair. Complexion. This is actually really cool. It's not often you find an MMO that does this, but you can go middle-aged, weathered, rough, worn, old, or elderly. That's really cool, especially for a mage-type character or a grizzled elderly warrior. I'm going to go with worn. I like my MMO characters to be a little older, a little more worn. I don't like the foofy kind of everybody's so pretty kind of aspect that a lot of games do. That's interesting. Oh, we got a bunch of things in here. Huh. Go full on Kiss the Band over here. Let's try that. Let's do that for now. Scars. We've got the scar on his cheek over here, but let's move it to the left cheek. Kind of balance his face a little bit without being symmetrical. Body shape. Those are, you have 3 body shapes for each of the races, and some of them are pretty distinct. And then you can go into body scaling and change arm length, arm bulk, you know, a lot of different stuff. It's not as open-ended as Ion's character creation, which is actually good in my opinion. So you can't have things that look utterly ridiculous. A half-orc that's 3 inches tall, but, you know, 6 feet wide. It's asinine. This right here, you pick your starting city, and as far as I'm aware, it's just flavor text, and probably maybe 1 or 2 quests will kind of mention it. And then you pick what type of person you are. Again, flavor text, malcontent refugee, worldly swashbuckler, or flaming fist mercenary. And that's only for Baldur's Gate. If you go up to Neverwinter, you get a different list of origin types. So we're going to stay at Baldur's Gate, go with malcontent refugee since we're kind of a stabby type guy. And then we're going to worship a bunch of different gods here. We're going to worship Saloon, since it's for those who seek comfort in the night. And again, we are a stabby rogue. What should we name our stabby rogue? Let's go with... Blythorn Nightstriker. Suitably D&D name. And it went ahead and gave us a free level to level 1. So that's nice of them. We are no longer invalid cripples. Personally, I want that game. Invalid cripple with psychic talents or something, or maybe a wheelchair-bound hero that can, you know, use psychic powers.
Hey, are you all right?
Move around using the W, A, S, and D keys. Move to Private Wilfred. Press F when close to talk to him.
As you can see, there's the little tutorial that pops up for this first little area, and it's actually voiced, which is kind of rare. It does control kind of like Fallen Earth or Terra, in the sense that, you know, wherever you move your mouse, that's where the reticle moves, and, you know, you're not running around like kind of World of Warcraft. You'll still use WASD, however, like I said, moving the mouse at all will move your camera. And that's also where you're pointing to attack as well. So when you talk to somebody or when you use an item, you press F to do that. And when you do it, I like that they've actually given it an animation. It kind of sinks in a little bit, you'll see in a second. And you can see that you've actually clicked on the thing.
Thank the gods. When I saw the Dracolich attack the ship, I was afraid there'd be no survivors. What brings you to Neverwinter in such troubled times?
That is my business.
Sorry, didn't mean to pry. It's just now's not a good time to be traveling here. As you may have noticed, Neverwinter is under attack. The necromancer Valindra is assaulting the city with her undead legions. Search the wreckage along the shore for your gear. It's dangerous to go unarmed right now. When you finish, head up to the camp at the top of the hill. They've got a nice warm fire up there. You'll feel better once you've dried out.
Thanks, I will.
Quest path leads to your next objective. Press C to toggle it on and off. Waypoints appear on the map to mark your quest's objectives.
Speaking of the glowing trail, it's the quest path. I know a lot of people were upset with that after Fable 2 and 3, and they weren't happy when they found out it was going to be in Neverwinter. However, like this thing says, you can just press Z to turn it off completely. So you don't have to have it on if you don't like it. But I'm probably going to leave it on because
interact with characters and objects.
I like it. I like this down here too. You can press F to take all. I think every game should have a take all button without having to hold down control when you loot it, or click the option. And
open your inventory. Double click an item to equip it.
okay, that's ooh, soiled tunic. We are wearing yet another urine-soaked item. If you remember my Age of Conan Let's Play, there was a lot of urine soaking going on there.
Press the Alt key to toggle mouse cursor and mouse look moves.
Alt just does this. You'll be able to click on the different options.
Displays current quest objectives.
However, you can't actually move in the Alt screen. Let's check out our character a little bit. See if we can't see him a little better. Not too bad. Again, once we get into something that's not soaked in urine, it'll probably look a little better.
Campfires or rest zones where out-of-combat players may heal.
Good to meet you.
Signs of life complete.
It's good to see someone survive the attack on the ship. When you feel ready, please speak to me again. I'm afraid I need your help. Although we stopped Valindra's main force, the battle is far from over. The battlefield is crawling with mindless undead who lost their masters in the fighting. To make matters worse, the enemy is raising our dead to use against us. Acolyte Naaman is performing a ritual of Kelimvor to lay the newly dead to rest. That is sure to draw an attack here. I must stay and make sure Naaman finishes her ritual. Could you search the battlefield for any wounded we missed and send them here? After you finish with the wounded, go to Del McCourt's camp and tell him our situation.
5 experience points and 5 copper. And I love this. You can hit 1 to accept, 2 to decline. I love it when they give you PC-centric controls, so you don't have to use the mouse for everything. It's nothing big. It's convenience things. Things that show you that the developer actually cares.
Sly flourish, damaging 1 melee range enemy.
I'm
Your reticule over objects and enemies to target them.
going to see if we can't turn off these help things for the next playthrough, since they interrupt my dialogue and they get kind of annoying. You may notice some stuttering in the game so far, and that is not necessarily the game. When I play it without Fraps recording, I haven't had any stuttering except for a little bit in town. And my wife, who has roughly the same system I have, just with more RAM, hasn't had any stuttering at all. So it might just be my lack of RAM. My computer has 4 gigs, but it only ever has 2 gigs available, which I don't know if that's a problem with my RAM or what, but... So I know you can't really tell from watching, but the combat does feel pretty meaty. When you attack, it feels like you have a real sense of weight and heft. Your character does stay in place. You can't keep running while you're attacking. And so it is kind of a choice between attack or move, and I like that. It makes the combat feel heavy and weighty, like it's got some heft behind it. And then, you know, when you actually do connect, there's a nice solid sense of connecting with the enemy, and a good sound effect too, which I don't understand how more games don't realize that, you know, combat really depends on the sound.
The level up guide displays everything you get for leveling up. It may also offer important quests.
Cloud of Steel. Toss a barrage of blades at your target, dealing low damage. The longer you bombard a single target, the more damage Cloud of Steel will inflict. Alright.
We were lucky to drive Valindra's forces back. Thank you for aiding the wounded. They wouldn't have survived much longer with all the undead roving about. I'll try to get medical supplies and reinforcements to Linkletter as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we've got problems of our own here. I'm afraid I have a gruesome task for you. We've driven Valindra's main army off, Our Red Wizard allies are still harassing us with summoned undead. Private Hothedon is trying to drive them off with his
Cloud of
archers,
steel to
but
hurl
they're
a
short
barrage
on
of
ammo.
blades at your target.
Search the battlefield and scavenge some arrows from the dead, and then take them to Hothedon.
I don't know if you noticed that there, but if you start getting a quest from somebody and you just accept it and move on, it will actually keep telling you the story as you go, so you don't have to stop there and wait. And then you can hit the minus key on your keyboard to tell it to shut up, and if you don't want to hear it at all. But that's awesome. So you don't have to sit there and listen to the whole thing if you just want to move on, but you don't want to miss the story. This guy is actually just going to, there's no quest in there. He's just going to give us some lore. So you can talk to him and get some lore, but I'll leave you to do that if you're interested. We're going to try our new ability. Wow. Said it did minor damage. That's the kind of minor damage I like. Got a little chest in here. Intricate bone pin. Jewelry. No real value though, still. Alright, that actually feels pretty meaty too. So far, oh look, my knives are actually in the ground after the fight. So far, I am actually a fan of the combat. I haven't played long enough. Like I said, I've only got one character to level 4, I think, and then this character. So I haven't played long enough to really get a feel for the game. But so far, the combat is really enjoyable, and that's a very important thing in an MMO, since you're going to be doing an awful lot of it.
Wizards back. Thank you for the help. The Red Wizards haven't been driven away, but this will at least force them to keep their heads down. More undead are attacking Neverwinter. They're boiling out of Castle Never and storming the Sleeping Dragon Bridge. If the bridge falls, they will enter the heart of the city, Protector's Enclave. I must stay and deal with the Red Wizards. Please, go to the bridge and aid the defenders. Destroy the undead soldiers near the gate to our north so it may be opened safely. Then talk to Private Wilfred. He will get you inside the city and show you the way to the bridge. Be careful, these undead are more aggressive than others you fought. Tempest grant you strength.
Okay, let's try this new ability. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to be close to him to do that. Did not know that.
Press Q to use Dazing Strike, dazing and damaging your enemy.
Got that. Okay, let's try it. Ooh. Didn't so much daze and damage as instantly kill, which, you know, I can accept. And you may not notice, but your weapons will actually hit anything that they physically hit. So with my daggers, it's going to be really hard to hit more than one thing, if possible at all. But when I was playing my Guardian Warrior, I was able to hit 3 guys at a time if I lined them up right. So that's exciting. I like that. Okay, we've killed all the guys we needed to kill. Though, can't hurt to kill 1 or 2 more. Ha. Oh, okay. So, it looks like a double tap in one direction will cause my character to roll in that direction, and it looks like it uses up this bar here. So, kind of like Guild Wars 2, each roll costs one of these stamina bars, and they recharge over time.
Hello again. You're looking a good deal fiercer than when you washed up on the beach. Told you drying out by the fire would do you good. My mother always says warm clothes make for a warm heart. You've thinned out the skeletons enough that we should be able to slip through the gate safely. Linklater gave me some healing potions for you. You may need them on the bridge.
Let's do this. Bridge time.
On a visible location to travel to it.
This is how the traveling system works. The world is kind of an overmap, and if anybody who's played the old Baldur's Gate will know exactly the kind of map it is. You pick an area you want to go to, and then the area is fairly large, and you go through it and you do it. The game feels, I don't know, like I said, I haven't played too much yet, but the game feels a little bit less like an MMO and more like an online RPG, which is excellent.
in trouble. We must go to their aid.
And it's just what me and my wife were looking for. We love to play games together, especially RPGs.
Direction to shift away from enemy attacks. Don't shift when your stamina is low.
Look at all these undead coming up here. That's not good. Takes forever for that that jump attack thing to finish cooldown. Nice. And it does look like those enemy AoEs do hurt the other enemies, which is excellent. That kind of thing should be in every game. My character's a little hurt. When I played through this on my Guardian Warrior, I was never below 80% health. And I was kind of worried, but... Let's take a second to look at where we are. We're on a broken bridge. Look at the mist down there, traveling between these two castle parts. That's just awesome. Barricades set up everywhere. Arrows, swords lying around. Looks like 3 is that spot on my bags where my healing potion is. A Deathlock White.
One bath, flashing from target to target, dealing damage to each.
That sounds awesome. Let's use that at the next fight. And that's our daily ability. It's not really daily.
Take your daily power when your action points are full.
Exactly. The action points actually fill up pretty fast, so it's not like you have to really save it up for, archers, for a daily thing, but that was frickin' awesome. And you see there? That's where the archer's gonna shoot. You need to get out of the way. So it looks like we gotta fight this big guy. And it looked like there was some kind of a banshee or something behind him, which is pretty cool. Here we go. If he wants to use his Hulk smash attack, ouch, then we can just do our long range attack. See? He's going down like a chump.
The scroll of identification.
Scrolls of identification.
Right-click on an unidentified object and select Identify. Use the scroll and reveal the item's stats.
Thief's boots. Yes, please. Equip those. Alright, now we're gonna go talk to this guy, Private Wilfred.
Sorry. Should have been more cautious.
His cloak is
Thought of all
having
my
issues.
friends who died because of her. Find Sergeant Knox. Tell him what happened. Ask him to check on my mother from time to time. You have to stop her. Lord Neverember is no saint, but he's better than the alternative. If Neverember fails here, Valindra will rule Neverwinter. Find Sergeant Knox. He's one of Neverember's guards. One of the good ones. You must stop Valindra.
Poor guy. First, his cloak starts choking him to death, and then he dies. It's all very sad, really. Alright, that's the end of this episode. We're going to have another one very shortly for each of the different classes that are available for this beta weekend. But since we're loading into the main city, I'll save that for another video. Thanks for watching.